to another video. Once again, I'm your headless host, some kind of science dude. Today's video is a lesson in basic algebra. Many of you might be saying, hey, I've gotten by so far without algebra, it's just not something I need. That may be true for advanced algebra, but everyone needs to know the absolute basics, and almost all of you use algebra and don't even know it. For example, for anyone buying or selling a home, one of the main questions is, how many square feet is a house? It's a simple formula, area equals length times width. Well folks, that's algebra. We started out with an unknown quantity, which is the area. You measure the length and the width, and then multiply them to figure out the area. That's an example of the simplest form of algebraic equations. A equals B times C. You see this form of equation all of the time, and here are some examples. Obviously, for anyone in a technical or engineering field, and of course mathematics, algebra is a tool that must be mastered. But for basic algebra, it is used by almost everyone. Homeowners and realtors, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, masonry workers, mechanics in any field, they all need to know basic algebra. So let's look at an equation that explains something that all of us have dealt with, a circuit breaker that is popped. I hope my wife is paying attention. Power equals current times voltage. The basic unit for power is watts, the unit for current is amperes, more commonly known as amps, and the units for voltage, simply enough, is volts. And here's the equation simplified. So let's get started. If you live in an old house like I do, and my condolences if you do, here at Stately Science Dude Manor, we have several rooms on one electrical circuit controlled by a circuit breaker. Most simple room circuits are designed to handle 15 or 20 amps. In our particular case, we have a kitchen on the same circuit as several other rooms, and this is a 15 amp circuit. Suppose you have a hairdryer that uses 1300 watts. At the same time, you decide to use the microwave that in this case uses 1100 watts. So you know you're using a total of 2400 watts, but we want to figure out how many amps we're using. Here comes a basic algebra. We know the total wattage is 2400, and average household voltage is 110 volts. So let's go back to our power equation. Watts equals amps times volts. We want to find the amps, so we need to change the equation around. You see that on one side of the equation we have amps times volts. To get amps by itself, we need to use what's called an inverse operation. Since we have amps multiplied by volts, we will need to divide out the term we want to get rid of. Division and multiplication are inverse operations. To keep the equation equal, we will divide both sides by volts, and as you can see on the right side of the equation, the volts cancel out, leaving us with watts divided by volts equals amps. So inserting the numbers that we already know, we have amps equals 2400 watts divided by 110 volts, which gives us roughly 21.8 amps in our circuit, which is way over the 15 amps that the circuit was designed to handle, and that's why our circuit breaker is now popped. This explains why all new houses have kitchens on their own circuit, each bathroom has its own circuit, and so on. So my message is, algebra and advanced mathematics don't have to be a scary thing. Just learn a little at a time. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please feel free to email us with any questions or comments. Until next time, take care, and never stop learning.